Well, here we are a bit early in the morning here at Essen Fair, and we have a legend by my side. I have Uwe Rosenberg. Hello, Uwe. How are you?
Hi, nice to be here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here on Devir's booth. I think that you have seen so many Essen Fair in your life. How is this one going?
I began to study in the near of Essen in 1990. And this was one of the first fairs ever here in Essen. Yeah, this was only one and two halls, and they fill with people who make their own games. So really small, maybe not a company, maybe a small company, like really small, and the really big Ravensburger and so. And now with so many halls, it's nice to be so old that I saw everything.
Well, this has been a little while since you started creating board games till now. Some years.
I started making board games at 82. I was a child. And it exists a game from 85 that Mehrfair has, and checked if we could publish it. So there was one game in my youth, but was a little bit good. Perhaps good when you make something on the game.
And well, since these days that you say till now, I think board game industry has changed very much. How you live this evolution as a board game designer?
Because I think that we will see many more changings in the next 5 years. So I believe it's just the beginning, and I'm not so. There are many themes we can talk about what maybe happened in the next 10 years. But we are also in the beginning. I think in the nil years from 2000 to 2010, nothing happens, then worker placement. In the end, deck building a little bit, and now so many things happen. It's just the beginning, I think.
I'm so happy to see a game designer like you that it's still doing great games and a lot of games, because, for example, this year, I think you have at least two new and two really games, yes.
Well,
what's your motivation? I don't know, the energy that you still carry on.
I'm working on my mechanisms, and I feel like a man who wants to know everything about these exact mechanisms. I don't want to make all the games that are possible to make. Cooperative games are not the game I play it. I like to play it, but I don't like to make them. I'm motivated to know everything about this little cosmos in which I make board games. And this is a motivation too.
Then we don't know much about Fist of Odín. We know that it's a really big box, they told us, and a heavy box, but the games, it has similarities with Agricola and Caverna, or not, or it's different?
The beginning of Odín was Agricola, and it was a little bit unusual how I make games. In this case, it was that I thought about the harvest phase in Agricola. And in the harvest phase, you have sheep that bring you 2 food, wild boar that brings you 3 food, and it feels a little bit like paying and not like eating.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought, how can I make it that it feels a little bit more like eating? It feels more, so I see that I feed my people. I think it's interesting that it wasn't the story that I go awake and say, today I want to make a puzzle game. That was not the story. The story was I thought about something concrete, and so it's developed. And this is an example about my work. I never have an idea that falls from the sky. I think about something concrete, and so I develop the ideas.
And why you chose Vikings this time?
the Viking theme I have in my head, because there are so many stories you can tell, and to have many stories to can tell is good. In the first steps, I don't wanted to tell all the stories, but I just showed a little village, make some trade and so on. But it grows while the testing, and I chose Vikings because there were the possibilities to fill it up. I could, I had the possibility to go to Norway when I want to explore, or go to Swedish when I want to trade.
Okay.
These are the big stories of Vikings. And in the beginning, I like to get the theme very early, because the typical Euro game is that you not really feel the theme. To feel the theme is one of my big themes. And so I get the theme very early, but when you get the theme too early, then you have perhaps difficulties to find a good mechanism. My opinion is there are two kinds of mechanism. The ones who make the games wow, it's a good game, and the mechanisms they fill up a game. And I make games in three rows: the wow mechanism, then the theme, and then all the other mechanisms. And all the other mechanisms, I can choose this or this, but they have to fit to the theme.
Yeah.
And so I have to take the theme early. It wasn't that I like Vikings or so. It was that I have possibilities. Now I make the same thing with Egypt. I have there many possibilities too. And now I don't know how I tell the story. I'm telling me the story, and I see what the game wants. This happened not in my mind while thinking. This happened in my mind while playing.
Really, really interesting. Some people say, well, I think you really have a great influence on worker placement games with Agricola and on all the games that came later. And nowadays, worker placement, I think it's really well. A lot of games have that mechanic.
I have one influence. Maybe it's important, but I don't know. Agricola was the first game where you took a worker on a field and makes action.
Exactly.
The worker placements in the time before, you put it on a field, 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 and then you make all the actions. For example, Cailloux. And I think it's important. You put a worker on the field and you want to feel what you do. So when you want to have wood, you want to take the wood now. There's one reason to make all the actions in the end of a round. And the one reason is that you have two chances. First, you take the action, and then you get the resources, or the other way. But when you want to make the action, and it doesn't work, then you have an action that makes nothing.
Yeah.
This is not nice.
Okay.
In the time when you set the worker on the place, then it's very nice. But when you fail, then it's not good. And so my opinion was put a worker on the field to the action at once.
There are many new versions of Agricola to come.
Yeah.
There have been changes, like a little easier game with less players, a little harder one, I think, family one. What about all these versions? You have been making them?
Yes.
Yes.
Testing makes a theme, and I made the games. Yes. you've asked for the reasons of all the.
Yeah.
The reasons are that there are so many people who own Agricola yet, and we want to have new customers. We want to have 8-year-old childs that know Agricola then, and when they grow up and we are 12 years old, oh, now I want to play the real Agricola. We want to go the step before. We want to reach people who play not often games, but these are the things you do when you have success.
Yeah. No, we will release them on Devir, and we are really happy. We think they will be really, really cool. Do you have new projects on mind?
I'm exactly working yet on no games, but I have 5 ideas, and the Egypt theme was one of these 5 ideas. All the 5 things are in the first steps. The reason for that is fair. I finished some games, and all the games are in the middle are finished.
Okay.
Monday everything is is new.
Great.
Reset. I say reset, guys.
Would like to see them. Sure, they will be really.
Yeah, I don't know if they are good. Nobody knows it.
Well, thank you for your time, Uwe.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Congratulations for all your work. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Thank you.